Hello and welcome back to a new edition of Racing for Wins. My name is Craig Havens. With me, as always, Jonathan Almanzar. The new season is out, and we have both caught up. We're all up to date. We're all finished. What'd you
The
think?
new
What'd you
season of
of Drive to Survive? Sorry, not the new season of. Well, the new season is coming up soon of Formula
when?
One, but it's not over. The new season of Drive to Survive is out. We have both caught up on that, and I figured we'd talk
Yeah.
about that for a little bit today, if that works for you, unless you've got another agenda for me.
No, I mean we can start there.
Good. That's always a good start. What'd you think of the season?
I liked it. There's a couple things I wish they had dove into more. There were a couple things that they gave more clarity on, like as I was watching, like as I was going through the season that I didn't know and then was able to catch up on later on. Especially like the Daniel Ricciardo. I don't think we necessarily want to start there. But when that whole thing, I remember when that was happening, and they were like, "Well, we're going to have this guy as our driver," and he tweets out, Oscar was like, "You're not ever not driving for you." Like all of that behind the scenes stuff, I hadn't seen before, so I thought that was
Yeah, that
really
was
cool.
cool. So you didn't see that during the season. You saw that for the first time on the show?
No, I saw during the season that happening, but I didn't get any of the behind the scenes stuff. Like
Gotcha.
I didn't. There was a lot of stuff I didn't know that was going on. That was that Drive to Survive did a good job of. They do a good job of making villains, don't they?
They
On
do.
Drive to Survive.
They do. And you know what? Everyone needs a villain. And it's funny because I've been watching a lot on villains, which is a side topic that just came up out of the blue. But I've been watching a lot on villains, and do you know what? Everyone who gets into that, not everyone, but a lot of people that get into acting like to be the villain. It was,
Yeah.
it's the same with that wrestling, the World Wrestling, whatever it's entertainment or whatever it is now.
Could be WWE, could be WWF.
WWE. It used to be
W.
WWF, but now it's animals. And I think even animals like to be the villain. I mean, who doesn't want to be the wolf, right? I mean,
Right.
you don't want to be the
Exactly.
little
Yeah.
sparrow that, like, ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, anyways, no, they do. They do a good job making villains, and their villains are good.
Yeah. They
So,
are.
so
They're the smallest villains in the world, but they're good. Yeah.
who
They're the
is?
tiniest. The drivers. They're the smallest. Like they're tiny little villains, but they're good villains. Yeah.
Okay. So
In
there's.
stature, I'm saying. In
Oh,
stature,
all
they're tiny.
right, all right. So we've started out this season. We're going to be Lando Norris to start. How'd you like his role in the? Speaking of villains,
Yeah. So Lando, that's who we've adopted at the beginning of this
correct.
because we're racing 4 wins, so we're
Yep.
going with the whole four thing. Well, not the whole four thing, but in this case we are. And so I think that um, Lando, I know you probably had a problem with him, but I liked how he was portrayed. I We are going to choose. We may choose a different driver
Right.
as the season rolls on. We reserve the right to do that. Real quick, isn't it amazing that Formula One lets you change your number to number one if you
I
win
think
the
that's
championship?
awesome. I think that should be
I
in
do
every
too.
sport. I think if
Yeah,
your team wins and you're the MVP of the Super Bowl, no matter what,
you
you
can.
can have the number one as your number, and you're the only one in the league that can have that number. I think that'd be
I
awesome.
I totally agree. I think that's an amazing. I think it's just amazing. But anyway, I liked how he would when they were like, "Do you feel sorry for Daniel Ricciardo?" And he's like, "No, not at all, not even a little bit." Like, I like that he's like, "No, just take some personal responsibility, man. You're the one messing around." And Daniel Ricciardo, he's he's getting what he deserved. I kind of think.
So I'm not gonna lie, I always like Daniel Ricciardo. I think he's
Yeah,
funny. I think he brings character to all of it. The fans
he does.
really like him. He's
Yes.
just he's a guy who likes to have fun, and he was a good driver. And then he left. I mean, he was good. He was good at all. He was good at McLaren when he was there for a little bit for the beginning, and it
Yeah.
started to fall apart.
But the way he bounced around, like left Red Bull, then went to Renault, said, "I'm going to stay here forever," and then jumped to McLaren, and then jumps. I mean, he kind of got what he deserved. But I like that about him. I like how uh, I heard somebody saying, "See what a punk Lando Norris is when he was making that guy pick the chocolate chips out of his croissants." Uh, I thought it was funny. I think I like him. I still so he's still my favorite driver. I have some drivers that I absolutely hate.
I like him. I don't. He's not. he's not my favorite right now, but he's still in there. So let's do this. Let's take our top four drivers right now, and I'll even go first. So
Okay.
Checo is probably my favorite right now. Sergio
Okay.
Perez. He is probably my favorite right now. Um, then Lando Norris. I liked Kevin. I liked Kevin
Magnuson.
Magnuson. Yeah, I liked
Yeah.
him. Well, I just turned green. I liked him. It's my whole green screen effect. But I liked him. I think it was kind of a cool, like, out of the sport. We had to call him back, and he performed. He did well. So I like that. And I know you hate him, but rounding up my top four would be Yuki.
No way. No way.
You know what? I
Oh,
like Yuki because Yuki's got that. Nobody thinks he can do it, and I
and he
think he's.
can't.
But
And
I'll
they're
bet you
right.
he.
And
I'll bet
everyone's
you
right.
he's going to get better this year. I'll bet you he does better this year. He's
He's that
got.
guy that nobody thinks can do it, and they're right.
You know, I have been doubted many times in my professional career. When I started my first business, everyone thought I was crazy. It worked out.
Yeah.
I'm still alive. I can still eat. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
No,
that.
I agree. I agree.
So
No,
I do. I
I
like him. I think he may be a bit of a doofus. He may overreact to just about everything. Maturity will come. I think every
yeah.
year he's maturing a little bit. I think he's going to turn out to be decent. So
So let's
Yuki, you're in my top four. We got
top four.
this.
Okay.
You're mad because he farts in the car. That's what had you going. You couldn't
No, I
stand that.
hate
It
I hate
disgusted.
it.
I'm with
I,
you.
I'm done with him. You're right.
That's
I was like,
that's what did it for you. You were done. There was no saving him after that. I know. I know.
so Pierre Gasly would have been in my top four if he hadn't been laughing and going along with that. I seriously, I
He
had to
should
push him
do
out of my
much
top
better
four.
actually with a good car.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a good driver.
I hated him
So,
so much before that I had a hard time putting him in my top four. But I liked him a lot better this year. Go ahead.
so just missing out on my top four are four. I'm gonna give you four drivers that almost made my top four.
Okay.
Okay. Pierre Gasly,
All right.
Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen, and the other Spanish guy. I can't think of his name. For Ferrari.
Oh, not Leclerc, but what is
Doesn't
his
matter.
name? Well, he's in your top, so he must matter somewhat.
No, he didn't make my top four.
Oh, he didn't make your top four. Sorry.
He barely missed my top four. But my top four,
All right.
in no particular order.
All right.
Okay. Lando Norris,
Yep.
Charles Leclerc. Isn't it weird how they say his name?
Yeah, because it ends
Don't you
with a
think
C.
it's Sean? Yeah, I always think they're saying Sean Leclerc, but Charles Leclerc, George Russell,
Oh, really?
yeah,
I don't like him.
and number four. I guess I'll go with Kevin Magnuson. Yeah.
I did not like. I don't like.
George Russell.
Yeah, Leclerc I like. George Russell I don't like.
You have a problem with English people, I think.
I think that's what it is. It's the English people, since that's pretty much my history. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's probably what it is. Yeah.
Carlos Sainz.
Oh yes, Sainz.
That's
Yep. He made a
he
few.
just
He made a few mistakes this year,
yeah.
but that whole team made a lot of mistakes.
Oh man.
Which brings me to a question I have for you. So the team screwed up a lot.
And way more than
I
they showed on the show too.
I
Way more than they showed on the show.
I'm gonna ask, and I know your answer, but I'm gonna challenge your answer a
Okay.
little bit too. So, what's his name? Mattia
Yeah.
Binotto, right? Binotto.
Yeah. Yeah.
You own a business.
Yeah.
This guy is working for you.
Yeah.
Where are you? What do you do? Do you fire
Fire.
him?
Yeah.
So he brought you the number two this year,
Yeah.
and you're done just like that.
Done just like that. Too many mistakes. One, why does he speak English not when he's being interviewed and perfectly fine, but when he's being interviewed, he only speaks Italian. 2, who does he think he is? Harry Potter? Like, I can't tell if he's like
He's
a
getting the
cross
scarf
between
put on after this.
Malcolm Gladwell and Harry Potter with his Malcolm Gladwell hair and his Harry Potter glasses. 3, just live at the vineyard, dude. You obviously that's what you want when he kept saying, "Oh, slow, patient, blah blah blah." Then stay there. Don't come back to Formula One. 4, made so many mistakes, far more than they showed in Drive to Survive.
The problem was the repeat mistakes.
When Carlos Sainz was like, "No," he was like, "You got to come in," and Carlos Sainz was like, "No," and he's like, "You have to come in." They didn't show this one in Drive to Survive. And Carlos Sainz was like, "No, I'm staying out here." Not the one where he said, "No, I'm going to try to win."
Right.
But one of the races where he said, "I absolutely will not pit. I'm going to stay out here." And he's ends up driving and finishing and doing well. And I heard people talking about how those drivers, Leclerc, one of the reasons Leclerc is yelling at them saying, "Shut up, stop talking to me," is because not only are they having to drive, but they're also having to plan their own strategy because their strategy team is so terrible at it. He was like Leclerc became a broken human being driving that car because Binotto was so terrible at his job and holding people accountable. And then
that's the part that kills me is the holding people accountable. That's the piece. There was nothing done to fix it. It was, well, we made mistakes.
Yeah.
But
everybody makes mistakes.
I don't even, when I work with the business, I don't care. I do care. Obviously, I care when people make mistakes, but I don't need to get down to it to find the person who's to blame for firing them. I need to find out why it happened
and how to fix it.
And then we can work on fixing it. And if it continues to happen by the person who's causing it, then we have a problem.
Yes.
But until we get there, it's on me. It's mine. Yeah. And you have to get to that point. There wasn't, at least in the show, and I don't know anything about the way they run it. They didn't involve me in any of their business decisions, which was kind of crazy to me. I didn't get a phone call.
Yeah.
But
just so you know, all year long, as I was reading after races, because at one point in the season it became super boring because Max Verstappen was a foregone conclusion that he was winning. So I was actually rooting just to see. I wanted Ferrari to get in the lead and then have a complete meltdown race after race, and it kept happening.
Who's worse?
The only thing in sports
Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry. I'll get to the next question.
I was going to say this is the only thing in sports that worked out for me this year was, I want to see Ferrari get in the lead, and then I want them to have a complete meltdown, and then I want to read about it. But every time I would read or listen to something about it, he didn't take any responsibility for it. He just kind of brushed it all off, and then the writers would say, "Well, he's very Italian." What does that mean?
Right.
Pinocchio's very Italian too, and he's a liar.
He's Swiss, by the way. He's not even he was Swiss born. But whatever.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I know. I bring little facts to this whole world. Next thing. All right. So my next question is Toto Wolff. Who's worse? First of all, Mercedes or who do you hate more, Mercedes or Ferrari?
I don't hate Ferrari.
You kept waiting for them to implode. But go ahead.
Because that made good TV.
Who do you want to lose more, Mercedes or Ferrari?
Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes. I can't stand Mercedes. All right.
I can't.
So Toto Wolff. I mean, did he take responsibility for the cars that could not get going at the beginning of the season? They couldn't. They kept porpoising. They kept jumping up and down. Did he take responsibility, or did he blame everyone else in the entire room for principals, blame them for his problems?
So, first of all, with his team during the season, he did say, "I'm sorry about our car.
Yes.
We screwed up." He said it to his team. They didn't show enough of George Russell and what's his name crawling out of their cars like they were broken men, because at the end of every race, those first 4 or 5 races, they would just crawl out and look.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And it was painful.
They showed Hamilton one time, but both of them were like that. But when he went into the room with those principals, I just wanted to be like, who do you think you are?
Exactly.
Calling him out. They're like, is this a show? Are you doing this for television? What are you doing?
Yeah, it was. So who's worse? Would you keep Toto? It's last year of his contract. Another little tidbit I brought in. So it's last year of his contract. You keeping him?
I would keep him. Yeah, absolutely.
So with all of the others, Williams could figure out their car. He could not. and you're still pro
They
Toto.
figured it out,
Pro
but
Toto?
they figured
That sounds like pro
Toto.
bono, pro
They
Toto. You're still
they
keeping him in.
figured it out by the end of the year. They figured it out by the end of the year.
But he came in
I
third.
think
He could have come in second if he had just figured it out earlier.
right. I think he's a fantastic manager. Yeah, but they were like an eighth or ninth. I think he's a fantastic principal.
I hate him.
I
I
can't
can't
stand him. Like
stand looking at him,
I
let
can't
alone
stand him.
hearing him talk, hearing him
And
whine, hearing him complain, hearing him bitch,
I
hearing
think
him moan, hearing him cry, hearing. All right, sorry.
yeah, I get it. And I think when he went into that day and was all upset and being a little baby, I think he's not eating. I think he's got an eating disorder because he's gotten super thin over this season. And it seemed like he kept getting
It's the
thinner and
stress.
thinner and thinner. And he's so skinny. And I just want to be like, dude, if you would just go have like some food, I'm sure they have amazing food down there. Just go eat some ice
You
cream.
would think with the budgets they have, but hey.
Right. Yeah. He's
So
Austrian, right?
I don't know that one.
I think
So
he's Austrian.
oh, and by the way, let's skip that. All right, Otmar. What's your thoughts on Otmar?
I don't like him. I think I can't even
How?
believe he's in charge of something,
How?
honestly.
How in the world? He's like, how in the world do you go into a season and not know where your two drivers, not one, but neither one of your, well, I'm sorry, you knew where one was, but your backup driver and your main driver. How do you not know where they are? Like, you don't even have a clue. You just assume, well, we put out a contract, which he thought was fair. He didn't
Yeah.
sign it. Obviously, he didn't think it was that fair. And your backup, you don't even go talk to and say, hey, let's figure this out. We want you here. Are you in? Can we get this signed? Can we get this done? No, you just announce he's a racer for next year. We don't have a contract with him, but he's in for us.
We're not even going to talk to him. And then the way he kept changing his numbers is 2 million, it's 3 million, it's 4 million.
Right.
And by the time he's talking to Zach Brown, we spent $180 million on this kid, and I'm going to make you pay for it. I was like, what are you talking about? English law says that we could sue you. Well, whoop-de-doo, you know?
Yeah.
I can't stand that guy. I don't know how he's in charge.
Yeah, I don't either. But go ahead.
Maybe the catering. He should be in charge of the catering. I don't know.
He could. He would actually be a good caterer. He I don't know. After doing that, I don't know if I could have shown my face the way he was just walking around with this big smug look on his face.
Why does he speak American English?
I don't know. I don't know where he's from. I guess he's from. It looks.
From Detroit.
I think it. I think he seems. I mean, I don't know. He looked like he was living in England. But next question is McLaren. I don't even know who they just got a new principal. But Zach Brown is the CEO, and he's the only one who ever gets shown. So either he is that egotistical that he won't let anybody else be on the show and represent the company, because none of the other CEOs are really ever on. But so, what do you think of Zach Brown?
I can't stand him. They say he's really good at raising money, and that's why he's there. Like he lands big deals.
Yeah.
But he's a jerk, man. I can't stand him. He's the exact kind of boss that I would not give a 2-week notice to.
Yeah. Which can happen. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. So, I mean,
And how tall do you think Zach Brown is?
I'm going to say 5'7", and he weighs 245.
Yeah, I was going to go 5'4". Like when he would be around the other principals, he's always looking up at them like that, and they're not that tall either, you know.
And the hair. I mean, I can't really speak about hair, but the hair was just kind of.
I can't stand him. And where is their headquarters? In some weirdo town, England, but it's not a town. It looks like it's at somebody's farm. Like it's just out in the middle of a field somewhere.
Maybe it's his backyard.
Maybe.
They do have a new team principal.
Yeah.
Andrea someone. I don't know much about him, but
Andrea Bocelli. He's
wow.
Zach Brown. No, that's that. Andrea Bocelli.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Brown's American though, right?
I would assume so. I don't know.
You would hope so.
Well, I don't know why I'd hope so. It's
I hope he's American.
It's ZAK, which drives me nuts, by the way. I don't even like the way he spells his name.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever, I'm done with him. So, all right. So we've got, I wanted to ask you about
Are we
Logan.
done talking about these principles real quick?
Oh no, we
There's
can
a
keep
couple
going.
more that
Yeah.
I hate.
Oh wow,
I
you still hate? I like it.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I hate Stroll. That dude,
Yeah, I agree. But
Lawrence Stroll.
yeah, but he's wait.
He's the owner.
Yeah,
He's the owner. Um, I hate that Yost or whatever for Williams. Like
we didn't see him that much this year, but I agree with you. Yes. Oh, who's the
I
guy
feel
with
like
the kid that was racing? Remember he made his kid race?
that's
That's him. Yeah,
that's
in yeah,
that's Lawrence
Williams.
Stroll.
Yeah, I hate him and I hate his kid.
But they own Aston Martin now. But the that Yost guy, the Williams principal, he reminds me of somebody that would get cast for like Rip Van Winkle in like a local play or something like that. Like if they're gonna do a local fantasy play and they'd be like, oh look, the perfect Rip Van Winkle just walked in. Or like if they were gonna do like a local theater production of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, he would be that like deer, fawn, humanoid thing. That would be him. I have no respect for him. And then what about that really weird looking guy with the smaller version of Pinocchio's hair, Pinotto's hair, and he's
Giuseppe
older.
Pinotto. Who's?
Bonotto, whatever.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's got a smaller hair version, but he's like heavier and he looks Romanian. If I was going to guess his nationality,
I don't
doesn't
know.
matter. How do you feel about Christian Horner?
I like him. My favorite. I think my favorite principal is probably the same as many people. It's Gunther.
Yeah.
And what they call him Italian in the one.
Yeah, one of them called him Italian. Then he said he lives in North Carolina, but then
Well, he does live in North Carolina. They showed that whole thing with him in
yeah,
North
but
Carolina
then he also
for.
has a house in Italy. Then he also has a house in Austria. But I like him, but I don't think he holds people accountable either.
Yeah, I don't know that he does. He seems to be the guy who wants everyone to like him.
Yeah, he
And
has that
so,
engineer, that little young engineer that was there in the very first season. That I was like, oh, that dude's losing his job, and he's been there for 5 years now.
yeah. And they're not really moving up.
Yeah, they don't really matter. They don't really matter.
So, are we
Yeah, go ahead.
okay? Logan Sargent.
Yeah.
He's the American racer.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Don't know yet.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, rookie of the
I would
year at F2, and I guess he did that last
Yeah,
year, and like rookie 1 year in F2 and right up to F1. I'm curious. Like I haven't seen him race, obviously, but
I
be
hope he does
interesting to
good.
see. Yeah, he's
I hope
from
he
Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah. Is he really?
so yeah. So wonder. Well, he hasn't really had time to watch a. I mean, there's only been one race in Miami, and I guess that was last year, so I guess he could have watched it. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I mean he's not if we're gonna eliminate a driver per week, right? Till we get to our
yeah,
favorite driver. And he's not gonna be in my first 10 eliminations, I can tell you that. Like I want to give him at least a chance and see how he drives. I think I'll do the same with all the rookies, kind of.
all right.
Give them some chance.
So all right, so let's see.
Isn't it amazing how all those guys speak like 50 languages?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I mean, so they can all talk to each other in the other's native language, and a
Yeah.
lot of the people that are working with them can too. It's like, where
Yeah.
do they? First of all, in America, we just don't do that for some reason. We just think, everyone
Right.
else will learn English for us. It's
Yeah.
easier. But like, they speak Spanish, they speak Italian,
Italian.
they speak German, they speak and it always sounds just fine. Nobody's struggling with
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
except, well, as you had pointed out, I think that was actually as we were talking before, but Mattia, you were mad because, oh no, that was during this. You're mad because
Yeah.
he won't speak English during an interview. So yeah,
Yeah.
that
Daniel Ricciardo speaks Italian, I'm guessing, really well, but his Spanish isn't very good. When he would speak Spanish, I was like, I don't know about that. Just stick to Italian and,
so you
and
don't you
Australian.
don't like him. I like him.
Daniel Ricciardo?
Yeah.
He's too much of a character for me. And the whole when he started switching teams, I was on his side at the beginning of the first Drive to Survive season, but then I jumped ship when he just started switching teams like he did,
Yeah.
And I feel like he can't take it when somebody on his own team is better than him. He left when Max Verstappen got better than him. He's leaving when Lando's better than
Well, he
him.
didn't have a choice but to leave. They
Yeah,
let him go.
that's true. That
So
is true.
that's not like he was like, "Hey, I'm going to leave." And I don't
Point to
know
Craig.
exactly. And when he was in Renault, I don't
Yeah,
I don't even
he
remember who
left,
the
right?
other driver was. No, he left, but he didn't. It was a new driver added on, so it wasn't like
Wasn't it
someone was
Esteban Ocon or something?
Alcon. Yeah, yeah,
Esteban Ocon.
Ocon. Yeah, is he still racing? He races
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
with Alfa Romeo,
For
right?
Alpine. For Alpine.
Alpine. Oh, all right. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It. I liked him. I still like him. I like his character. I like what he brings to the. I want to say guest experience, but not
Yeah,
for.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So to the
Yeah,
fans, I think
I
he
mean, he's
brings
a character.
something.
He needs to be there. He needs to be
Yeah.
there.
Well, and he
He'll
even
never
said
be
it at the
missed.
end. He's like, "Well, I mean, what's the show going to be like without me? I mean, so you
Yeah,
guys, what are you going to do?"
yeah.
So yeah, it should be interesting. So all right. So what are you wearing? What is that shirt? Oh, okay. All right. I just saw the. It looked like a
That's a
nest
weird
or
look.
something.
What are you wearing?
I guess
Okay, Perot.
this is this is also on video for everyone who hears it. So yeah, there's that. All right. Now I'm totally thrown after that. So we talked about the Blown Head Gasket Award, which will from here on be known as the Blown Head Award. So we
Yes.
had talked about doing it for the entire season of last year.
Yeah.
Where are you? What do you think?
Oh man,
There are
so
so many choices.
there are so many choices. Obviously, Bonotto, Pinocchio.
Yep.
Obviously, he's up there. I think Toto Wolff could be on there.
I have them on there as well.
I think Mick Schumacher, Mocker, definitely 100% needs to be on there. I think that Daniel Ricciardo needs to be on there. He finished. So if he finished so many points behind Lando Norris, I don't remember what it is now, but it's something like 50 points behind Lando Norris, and they're driving the same car.
Yeah,
That's
it's hard to
pretty
believe you.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's pretty ridiculous. Williams, I think Williams should always be in the running for the award. But if I was going to pick the person who sucks the most, I think I would go with. I would vote for Lance Stroll.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like Lance Stroll either, but he wasn't really. Are we doing it for the entire season, or are we doing it for the show, or are
Let's do
we?
it for the show. That would be easier. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it for the show. So in the show, I would pick Pinocchio.
Yeah, I think you have to, Mattia. I,
Yeah.
I
We'll never
just
have to know
because
his
he
name.
never
Like,
fixed the problem.
yeah.
I don't know. It was so annoying watching it happen, and it goes to the end. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Maybe.
keeps
And you said
repeating.
he's Swiss.
Yeah, he's Swiss.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because do they ever take a stand on something?
Well, that's true. They are very neutral on everything.
Neutral. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the head of FIFA is from Switzerland, and he couldn't he had a hard time saying we're not going to play games in Qatar, and he just let things slide. So, yeah, maybe they should be arbiters and not leaders of institutions or companies or things.
That makes sense. They can be. Yeah. I guess they can just remain neutral on topics.
Yeah, but that's why they shouldn't lead, because they're not gonna.
Right. There's no decision. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Which way?
Yeah.
I mean, we could go this way, but this way is really nice too. I mean, if we go straight though, but boy,
why didn't he speak Swiss then?
I don't know how Swiss goes. What is? Do you know any Swiss words?
Chocolate. Hot chocolate. Tag Heuer.
All right. So, Army knife.
Odele, 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 hee-hoo.
Oh yeah, yodel.
Yeah,
Yodel would probably be a Swiss word. I like
yeah.
it. All right. What does yodel mean in English?
It means to trill with your voice.
Oh, you- see, you speak many languages too.
I do.
All right.
And
So,
just,
so who's out? Who's your racer that's out?
oh, so are we agreeing on it, or are we each picking a racer we're out? I think we each pick a racer we're out
All
of.
right.
I'm gonna kick to the curb as hard as I can, drop him, boot him, hope he doesn't twist my ankle. Yuki Tsunoda.
Wow. You're not even giving him a shot.
No, he has no chance.
Wow. Out with Yuki. Wow, that hurt.
It would, because I feel like he wouldn't be a comfortable kick. Like
That is true.
I kind of feel like if you picked him up, he would just go like limp on you like that, and it would be dead weight, and you'd be like, dude, oh, like that. That's how I picture him. Like if you're trying to cross a river and you're going to carry him across, he would just be dead weight. He'd be boneless in your arms, and you'd be trying to struggle to get him across the river.
Wow. No, that makes sense. So I think I'm gonna go Mercedes. Who am I going?
I'm going to say either George Russell out of spite or Hamilton out of
Hamilton, out of
truth.
the fact that I've never liked him.
Okay. Boom, he's gone.
He's
He,
gone.
he had some nice costumes, though, huh?
Yeah, what was that purple thing? I thought it was a
I
Muppet.
don't know.
Honestly, I thought it was like
I
from
was like,
Sesame Street.
I was like, why is Barney? Oh, wow, that's Lewis Hamilton. Wow, that's strange.
They started walking up, and because I thought it was in it when it was right. I think I thought it was a costume. I thought it was,
Yeah.
and then they showed him. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. So like that, for that alone, he should be kicked out.
And how about when he wore that thing with the giant, like giant round like saucer right here, but it was open. Like I was like, what is this thing? But I did think it was very interesting in one of the last episodes when George Russell was talking and he was dressed in his Mercedes gear and Lewis Hamilton was there and dressed in his weirdo clothes, and they would ask questions. Lewis Hamilton would look at George Russell and George Russell would answer it as if George Russell was the number
Taking
one driver
over
now.
Yeah.
I thought that was very interesting how George Russell controlled the conversation and Lewis Hamilton was allowed to add a little bit into
Well, there was a lot of questions as to whether Lewis Hamilton was going to stay too, whether he was going to come back, and honestly, for a little bit there, and I don't know. I mean, we're watching what Netflix puts on, and I know these documentaries, they're staged a little bit to make it more dramatic, to make it more TV. But I don't know. For a little while, it looked like he wasn't going to be back. So I'd kind of hoped. So if you were to start a new team, who would you start with? You're going to start a new team, and Max is out. You can't sign Max.
I think so. I think it would be one driver.
Yeah, you one driver.
Leclerc.
Yeah, that's where I'd go to.
Yeah.
I think you have to. He's smart, and like you said, he's got to come up with his strategy as he goes because Lord knows they can't figure it out. So yeah,
I mean,
I think that's probably.
If he had been the second Red Bull driver, that would have been a great battle. I feel like.
Could you imagine where Red Bull would be if he was the second?
Yeah, they would have won or finished second in every. They would have won. They would have had 1-2 in every race.
It'd be hard to. I mean, the season would be over except for the driver.
Right.
Long before it was last year. So. Yeah. All right. And yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything that you want to add to this whole beautiful?
No, I think each episode right now too, until like maybe we'll do a couple, but I would like to pick out a driver and match him up to a NFL football team.
Okay. I can do that.
And uh, I think obviously Max Verstappen would be the New England Patriots. No, 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 no. Lewis Hamilton is the New England Patriots. Max Verstappen is the Kansas City Chiefs.
So wait, I thought we were doing one per week.
I know, but because I said Max's name and the Patriots, I'm doing two. Lewis
Okay.
Hamilton is the New England Patriots.
All right,
Max
getting ready to
Verstappen,
retire kind of thing. Used to be the
yeah,
glory, now falling. Yeah, all right, I can see
yeah.
that.
And Max is the Chiefs.
So I think it would be cool, and if he decides to listen to our podcast, he can reach out to us. But if Mattia Bonito,
Yes.
if we could have him as a guest, that'd be pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
He'd
I'll get
have
some
to do
space.
his interview in English, though. I'm not learning. I'm not learning Italian to get it, or
You don't
whatever it
think
was.
we would get subtitles with it automatically?
Well,
You
yeah,
don't
but
think
are
he
you going
comes
to
with a
read it while we're doing
subtitler?
the interview?
Yeah. I bet he has. I bet he comes with a subtitler.
You know what? All right, that's fine. It's BYOST. Bring your own
Yeah.
subtitler, and then we're in. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the goal is to get somebody who is either currently in or him on the show this
Right.
year. That is our goal. We're gonna make it happen.
Deal.
Who are you getting? Who do you want?
Him
Who do you want?
on the show.
Yeah.
Like if we could
Who
have
would,
one
if
person.
you could have one person on the show, who would it be right now?
I guess it would be Logan Sargent since he's American and from here. But I Daniel Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo would be fun to have on, even though you wanted him out, but whatever.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
All right, cool. That'd be actually
Who
that.
would
I
you
wonder.
want?
I wonder if he'd be. He might be. We'll have to look that up. See if we can reach out to him somehow. I mean, I think it'd be fun to have Mateo in, but Daniel Ricciardo would be a lot of fun. I think he would be fun to just have in and get some inside knowledge from him.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to have a conversation with one of those guys.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, cool. All right. Thank you, everyone. We are here again next week. If you have any questions, anything you want us to add to our show, throw it down beneath in the comments. Feel free to let us know what you think and like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, and we will talk to you all soon.